tonight. Bracing for more of the construction crunch.
Our projects are generally on schedule this year, so we haven't had any weather impacts.
An update on some of the region's major projects that will create slowdowns through September. Turning down the trade war talk.
I thought it'd be best just to simmer down. It was a heated day for both him and I going back and forth.
Premier Ford's new tone on President Trump as more Ontario mayors weigh in.
We have to get attention because this cannot continue. The uncertainty is costing.
On the need for a deal. Also,
3, 2, 1, launch.
A rocket for the record books.
I didn't expect to start crying, and I definitely started crying there.
How a group of University of Waterloo students have made history.
Good evening. There may be only 3.5 weeks of summer left, but roadwork season is nowhere near finished across Waterloo Region. Drivers will be seeing delays well into the fall as major projects from paving to infrastructure continue through September. CTV's Hannah Schmidt is live at one of the biggest projects across the entire region right now, and that is the reconstruction of King Street East through the Sports World and Deer Ridge area. That's a Region of Waterloo project. Hannah, traffic's been squeezed down to one lane in each direction in that very busy route.
That's right, Tony. Definitely seeing some congestion in the King Street East and Sports World Crossing Road area as drivers are really squeezing their way down into that one lane. And this is just one of dozens of projects currently happening across the region, some of which won't be wrapping up anytime soon. Summer may be almost over, but drivers aren't getting much of a break. From King Street East in Kitchener to Ira Needles Boulevard and Queen Street in Cambridge, the construction cones aren't going away anywhere just yet. And while some projects will ramp up in the coming weeks, others will keep going through the fall and into next year.
Annually, we have a road reconstruction program. So this is to renew our infrastructure, bring pipes up to current standards and replace some failing infrastructure.
When it comes to the Region of Waterloo's projects, King Street East is one of the biggest, with work between Sports World Drive and Deer Ridge Drive expected to continue into December. The region also has more than 30 road and infrastructure projects planned this year, representing almost $200 million in work. As for the City of Kitchener's projects, Westwood Drive is also under construction, with that project expected to run into 2027. And work on Johnson, Patrick, and Wellington Street North is expected to continue until 2028.
Our projects are generally on schedule this year, so we haven't had any weather impacts. We've had a couple of projects start a little later than we would normally like, and that's because of some delays in getting approvals. But generally, our program is moving along really well this year.
In the meantime, Ira Needles Boulevard is being resurfaced between Yellow Birch Drive and Herb Street West, with that work expected to wrap in October. And in Cambridge, Queen Street West is closed for reconstruction, including new water mains, sewers, roads, and sidewalks.
There's a common theme when projects start, and so those first few days when a road is closed, it's troubles. People have trouble getting around. Yeah. They have trouble adapting to the road closure and the detours, but after 3 or 4 days, these things usually settle down as people find alternative routes.
But for some businesses, finding that alternate route isn't so simple. Michelle Tran owns Identity Optical near the King Street East construction.
It takes another extra 10 to 20 minutes to get to the store, and people have been actually not coming in to pick up their glasses. I have some glasses here sitting there for 2 months because they do not want to drive in the traffic.
She says even deliveries and appointments are being affected.
Some days we weren't able to even get our deliveries because our delivery driver is going into overtime or they're not able to make it here by a specific time.
And drivers feel the squeeze, too.
We have a lot of construction around the town now, like the city, like, for example, this area. There's a lot of construction compared to previous summers.
But the city says the payoff will be more than just fresh asphalt.
We tend to see a lot of streetscape changes, the configuration of the roads, so they're a little narrower. We have much more active transportation included in them, multi-use trails and cycling infrastructure.
There are some projects that are expected to wrap up this fall, but for drivers in and across Waterloo Region, it might not be a bad idea to look into alternate routes because some of these projects are expected to last well into the new year. Tony.
All right, Hannah, thank you for that. That's CTV's Hannah Schmidt joining us live from King Street East in Kitchener. And it's time for a first look at the weather. Ashley's away today. Let's join Karis Mapp in the studio with all of the details. The upside, I guess, is at least if you were going to be stuck in traffic, you could have the windows down, the sunroof open. Gorgeous day out there for the most part today.
Beautiful day outside. I was saying to Colton during the 5, we're at that time of year where it's hard to dress in the morning. When you first leave, like I said, I was in, sweater, warm stuff, and then by noon I was like, oh my goodness, here we are. So we've got the lovely dress on, the legs are showing for some nice summer weather. And looking at our satellite radar to get started, some cloud coverage in Waterloo Region. We did see a little bit more cloudiness earlier in the afternoon, but that's cleared through. Not to give it away, but just west of us, we're starting to see a weather population or weather system rather starting to move through the region there. That's going to make its way closer to Waterloo Region. That's going to happen overnight and into tomorrow morning. Temperatures wise, as Tony just said, beautiful outside, 25 degrees, a little bit of a breeze. So as you're driving, maybe in that construction, getting a crosswind, south-southwesterly, 26 kilometers per hour. So not too hot. And as we're seeing here with the temperatures, much of southwestern Ontario sitting in that low 20-degree weather. 26 down in Windsor, 23 up in Wyerton, comfortable 25 in Kitchener-Waterloo. Same thing even just south of the border in Buffalo, 26. So low 20s. It's a beautiful time to be outside still. Enjoy that sunshine while you still can, Tony.
All right, Karis, thank you. We'll get the long-range forecast from you a little later in the show. U.S. President Trump issued a new threat today in response to Canada's counter tariffs, saying that it's, quote, time to teach Canada you can't do this anymore. It comes after he told CNN he may have scuttled the trade deal at the 11th hour. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more.
I don't know how you feel about Canada. They are one of the worst countries in the world to deal with.
President Donald Trump trotted out some well-worn lines to conservative radio host Glenn Beck this morning, saying the U.S. needs very little from Canada.
I mean, there are a couple of things that would make it a little inconvenient, but we could get them elsewhere. And it's time to teach Canada you can't do this anymore.
The official White House X account also posted this photo of an eagle pinning down a Canadian goose. Meantime, Ontario Premier Doug Ford is continuing to attract anger from Americans for the failure of the deal.
If you look at the back channeling that was going on there, apparently Ford was like the devil in Carney's ears, don't do this, don't do this.
Ford denies that, but did say he's open to curtailing Ontario's electricity exports to the U.S. as leverage.
Everything's on the table, but I can't do it alone. I'm not the only province that ships electricity down to the U.S. We need a Team Canada approach.
Alberta Premier Daniel Smith has ruled out putting export taxes on Canadian oil going south, as has Saskatchewan's Premier when it comes to potash. While Scott Moe hasn't removed American alcohol from provincial shelves, he did announce a countermeasure today.
There was a 50% tariff that was applied to Canadian alcohol exports into the U.S. And so on September the 8th, Saskatchewan will reciprocate that tariff on American alcohol that will come into our province.
In Calgary today, Industry Minister Melanie Joly highlighted the $28 billion worth of countermeasures announced by the federal government yesterday, adding it may not be the last step.
We had many cards in our hand, and of course, we have many hands to play.
Now, it's unclear when those cards will have to be played, but for now, Trump isn't backing down, repeating false claims that Canada has taken the American car and agriculture industries. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Premier Ford, meanwhile, is taking a measured approach today in the trade war. And we're also hearing from Toronto's mayor and some other Southern Ontario community leaders who are pushing for quiet diplomacy instead of punishing American allies who support them. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more.
Behind me. Thank you.
In his first news conference since tearing into Donald Trump, the premier says he's taking a new approach to the trade war.
I thought it'd be best just to simmer down. It was a heated day for both him and I going back and forth.
With the United States reportedly contemplating more economic hits against Canada, Doug Ford is still keeping options in his back pocket, adding a surcharge to electricity going to U.S. states or turning it off.
If this escalates and we can't get back to the table and he keeps coming after us, all options are on the table in my opinion, but I can't do it alone. We have other provinces that send electricity down to the U.S. We all have to be on the same page.
Doing the rounds on American TV.
We are your best neighbors. We are your allies for centuries.
Toronto's mayor backing the premier, saying she's supportive of doing whatever it takes.
We have to get attention because this cannot continue. The uncertainty is costing everyone.
In a General Motors town that could be crushed by a 50% tariff on cars threatened for next year, the mayor of Oshawa uncomfortable with driving up power costs in places like Michigan.
I don't want us to start punishing those that are trying to advocate and support us. So I would ask that we take a step back, try and have these quiet diplomatic talks and really find a solution before it gets way out of hand.
Windsor's auto manufacturing enmeshed with what's happening on the other side of the riverbank.
But I'm hopeful that bright minds will prevail, that before this ramps up to a point in time where no one wants to get to, that smart people will get back to the table.
A hope also burning in Niagara Falls, where a trade war is squeezing tourism and manufacturing.
It's kind of like we're having a family squabble. The parents are arguing and the kids are sitting here saying, please stop. We've got the world's longest unmilitarized border, more than 200 years of peace and trade.
A legacy political leaders want to extend.
That report from CTV's Siobhan Morris. The husband of an Ontario MPP has sold his shares in an airline that does more of the Trump administration's deportation flights than any other. As CTV's John Woodward reports, those flights are on the rise, and it's not the first time someone in Ontario has been scrutinized over connections to this airline.
Last March, the Trump administration sent some 200 alleged gang members to El Salvador, even though a judge told the U.S. government to turn the planes around. Among them, a man who the government later admitted was on the plane by mistake. He was later returned to the U.S. The controversial U.S. immigration enforcement flights are surging from 18 a day when Trump was elected to 70 a day now. The planes the Trump administration used then were Global Crossing Airlines, doing business as Global X. The company has handled more than 4,000 internal detainee transfer and deportation flights this year alone, almost a third of all flights, according to Savvy Arvey of Human Rights First.
It's been documented that Global X has carried out deportations that violate court orders, where people are put on board in violation of due process, separated from their families.
Last year, when it emerged the executive chairman of Global X was a board director at the Royal Ontario Museum, he resigned the museum position. And just a month before those flights to El Salvador in February 2025, the husband of Hamilton Mountain MPP Monica Ciriello declared at the legislature he owned at least $2,500 in shares of Global X. Ciriello is Ontario's parliamentary assistant to the Attorney General, meaning her purview is the courts and justice.
The investments our government is making in the court system to ensure that people get access to justice.
Someone in that position needs to have nothing to do with a company involved in those deportations, says NDP leader Marit Stiles.
When people started being deported in these enormous numbers, was this MPP and her family thinking, wow, we're going to make some money off this?
In a statement, Ciriello said, the financial holdings of my partner have no bearing on government business. The stock was purchased and sold in 2025. He solely owned the account used to purchase the stock. Global X didn't respond to CTV's questions. It advertises that it does a variety of other types of flights and says it's the U.S.'s fastest growing charter airline.
Being a shareholder in a company that's really enabling mass violations on a scale never seen before just definitely raises red flags.
Arvey believes anyone who has the stock should look into what the company is doing. John Woodward, CTV News.
A rocket has propelled a group of University of Waterloo students into the record books. They've made history for the highest flying amateur liquid rocket ever launched. CTV's Spencer Turcotte is back from the university with more. Spencer, you saw the record-breaking rocket there today.
Well, not only did the rocket reach new heights, careful calculation allowed them to bring it home.
3, 2, 1, launch.
Just as quickly as the countdown reaches 1, Polaris blasts off.
We started this year with the goal that we were going to break the world record.
A year of designing, building, testing.
We can control the rocket's spin rate.
All leading to this moment for the University of Waterloo rocketry team.
The previous record was just above 56,000 feet. It was by Yellow Jacket Space Program by Georgia Tech.
And the Waterloo students smashed that world record at last week's 2026 Launch Canada Challenge in Timmins.
63,497 feet. Yeah.
Making Polaris the highest flying amateur liquid fuel rocket ever launched, surpassing the previous record by nearly 7,000 feet.
I didn't expect to start crying, and I definitely started crying there.
I mean, just nervousness turns into complete and utter joy.
But reaching that altitude was only half the mission.
Our secondary goal was to actually recover the rocket. This was actually more important to many of us than breaking the record.
That's because the team couldn't retrieve their last rocket. This time around, Polaris measured in at 17 feet long and weighed 300 pounds of fully fueled. So, safely bringing it back was a daunting task.
She is a very, very big rocket. This whole system is just ridiculously overbuilt. You can tell that we were a little paranoid about not getting the rocket back this year.
Although the paranoia paid off, the parachutes deployed and Polaris descended until a rough landing, yet still in one piece after a 7-minute flight.
It landed about 1.5 kilometers away from where we initially launched it.
63,497 feet of success, and a reminder that sometimes the best part of reaching new heights is finding your way back home.
And this mission was a launching pad for student success. The two we heard from there in this story will soon be doing internships at the Canadian Space Agency and SpaceX. So, Tony, safe to say they're off to a pretty good start.
I would say remarkable. Thanks, Spencer. CTV Spencer Turcotte reporting. A push for change with before and after school care. Coming up, why some parents in Perth County say their school boards need to take matters into their own hands.
Another beautiful sunny day with lots of time to get out and still enjoy it, and you're going to want to soak up the sun while you can because wet weather is on the way. I'll let you know when it's going to hit Waterloo Region later in the show.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Parents in Huron County are coming forward, sharing frustrations with what they describe as a lack of before and after school care in the region. They're calling for school boards to implement their own child care programs. CTV Scott Miller reports.
Marnie Van Esbrook's kitchen table has seen a lot of discussions about childcare because none of the families sitting at it have consistent before and after school care come September.
Within the 4 years that my daughter has attended her elementary school, her after-school program has been canceled twice.
We have no resources if there is no program available. We don't have anybody that can help us cover the before and after school period.
Hundreds of parents across Huron County are searching for before and after school care for their children following a summer that saw very little improvement on the shortage, specifically in southern Huron County.
A lot of parents are scrambling. Again, we're feeling a bit of deja vu in terms of what happened last August when London Bridge announced that they would be closing programs.
Van Esbrook and her fellow frustrated parents are asking the Avon-Maitland District School Board to step up and run before and after school programs amidst the void of third-party providers.
Because we know they have better staff retention, and so they're more reliable for families.
The school board says while they understand parents' frustrations, almost all of their third-party child care providers are struggling to find early childhood educators, and they'd be no different.
I can tell you that we don't have surplus staff looking for jobs. Those folks are all working in those spaces. We would be challenged to expand the footprint and pick up before and after.
Parents say something needs to change because their ability to work is in jeopardy without reliable care for their young children before and after school, which is a provincial requirement for all Ontario school boards to provide when there is sufficient demand.
We are so reliant on that program for us to make sure that we are able to continue working, to be able to pay for our home, to be able to pay for our children, get them to school and get us to work.
Superintendent Morris says she is anticipating some relief for parents by the end of September.
I do feel fairly optimistic that we've got a couple of announcements coming this fall that'll provide some support into some of our communities.
Van Esbrook and her fellow South Huron parents will believe it when they see it.
We feel, a lack of confidence that this is going to move forward.
In Southern Huron County, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Changes at Ontario's colleges and universities heading into the new school year. Students will now have to manage higher OSAP loans along with the end of the tuition freeze. A double whammy that's been adding to anxiety on campus. CTV's Robert Lothian reports.
In the next few weeks, students will flood the University of Windsor campus. Only this year, there's a new weight on the shoulders of students relying on the Ontario Student Assistance Program, or OSAP.
It's been very challenging, especially with the sudden changes to OSAP.
Starting this month, OSAP students will receive fewer grants and higher loans. For first-year political science student Trinity Miles, tuition alone is about $8,000 a year.
I've definitely applied over 50 jobs for sure, by a long shot, but out of those I've landed 2 interviews.
Higher costs coupled with a tough labor market has her time in school in doubt before it even begins.
There's been so many times where I've sat there and I was just I feel like I shouldn't even be going to school at this point because I don't have the money for it.
This added stress is already a constant topic on campus for the University of Windsor Students' Alliance.
If someone like me, who is not president of the UWSA, had worked up to 4 jobs before I started my term, I can only imagine the financial stress that others are going to feel moving forward.
UWSA President Victoria Sambao says the decision doesn't consider students already carrying a financial burden. She's hopeful the province will change course before students decide education is too costly.
We can't really be in a situation where we're investing all of our time and money in our education without even entering the workforce.
The Ford government announced the changes earlier this year, pointing to unsustainable costs. For years, students could receive up to 85% of OSAP in grants. Changes dropped that portion to a maximum of 25%, receiving the rest in loans.
They're just going to make a little bit of a bigger investment into their future career earnings, but that will pay off tenfold once they graduate.
In a statement, Windsor-Tecumseh MPP Andrew Dowie saying in part, "We understand that many students and families are concerned about the cost of post-secondary education. Adding supports ensure qualified, low-income students receive enough aid to cover tuition, books, and mandatory fees, with additional institutional support available where needed."
To add such sudden change is a huge burden to a lot of students and families. That is very devastating.
For now, students like Miles are stuck choosing between jobs of today and potential careers of tomorrow. Robert Lothian, CTV News.
All right, a live look back outside now at King Street East through Kitchener's Deer Ridge and Sports World area. Beautiful evening. Maybe not so much if you're stuck in those construction delays, but at least we have some nice weather in the middle of this last full week of August. A few clouds in the sky, some sunny breaks. Karis Map is back in just a couple of moments to let us know what the rest of the week is looking like. Also ahead, some of the youngest Kitchener Rangers fans get their chance to touch the Memorial Cup at the latest stop on the Championship Trophies Community Tour. And also getting ready for golden moments. CTV's Jeff Pickle joins us from University Stadium to tee up Laurier's football season. And also, a local psychology prof says the late Dolly Parton's lyrics may hold the key to living a better life. We'll dig down on that a little bit deeper coming up. Back with Karis Mapp, who's in for Ashley tonight, handling weather duties. And I wanted to touch on your earlier comments about keeping the summer wardrobe going, because I am that guy, Karis, who wears shorts until the end of October. If I can.
I love that. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I'm trying to be bundled up as early as I can. Like I said, I'm leaving the house so bundled and excited for those cooler temperatures, and then
it's a big contrast. But I mean, I'm not kidding you. If the high is 15 or 16 degrees in October, that's enough for me to keep the shorts and the short sleeves going for a little while longer.
Are you like a shorts and sweater guy with the short sleeve with the shorts?
Sometimes. I've done it. Shorts and a hoodie,
Holding
long sleeve.
on to hope. I love that.
Well, and why not? We've got like technically 3.5 weeks of summer left. We have to savor it, and we still have another full week before we get to Labor Day weekend.
Absolutely, and it's so warm out now. There's still some humidity as well. Taking a live look outside right now, you can see the scattered cloud coverage there, cloud spatter. A beautiful sunny day. Lots of sunshine left as well, but just warm outside. You know, it's perfect temperature. There's a little bit of a breeze, which is lovely as well. So still lots of time to get outside and enjoy any activity that you're hoping to do under a nice cloudy but sunny and warm sky out there. Getting started with our future cast. The sun is going to be here for a little bit longer, and then we're going to see some wet weather, as I mentioned earlier, make its way into the region. Right now, this hour, mostly clear skies, cloud coverage. That storm system is going to hit overnight, really around 2 a.m. overnight into the morning hours, and then it's going to clear out with some more cloud coverage. But over the next 48 hours or so, we are going to see scattered showers, pockets of precipitation, cloud coverage. So today is the day. Like I said, if you still have some time, get out there and enjoy that sunshine. Taking a look at our temperatures now, 24 degrees, 1 degree cooler than during the 5 o'clock show, but still, what more can you ask for? Beautiful temperatures for this time of year. 26 down in Windsor, 23 up in Wyerton, really sitting around that low 20 degree across southwestern Ontario. Overnight, 17 degrees, much warmer than that frigid 11 that we saw last night. From the futurecast, you already know there's a chance for showers. There's also a risk of a thunderstorm overnight. Tomorrow, 24, but the humidity making it feel more like 29. We're going to see the chance for showers early in the morning, really just moving on from what we saw overnight. At our almanac, 20 high was the expected, 26 rather was the expected high. Didn't quite get there, right on par with what is normal for this time of year. As I mentioned, that low 17, which is significantly warmer than the 12 that we're used to seeing this time of year. 1948, the high was 36.1, which we're not really close to, but we're also not close to the 3.9 that we saw back in 1927. Sunset tonight at 8:08, so as I mentioned, still lots of time to get out there and enjoy it. Looking at our 7-day forecast right now, as you can see, the temperatures overnight are going to drip a little bit down to 10, but then next week they're going to skyrocket back up to 19 degrees. So warm during the day, warm during the night. Daytime's highs getting up to 27 and 26 to round off the beginning of next week. In Lambton, Kent, Essex. Similar there as well, dropping down to 13 these next couple of nights, up to 21, 23, and the daytime highs out in that area up to 31 degrees. So we're far from the end of summer at this time right now. And then in southern Georgian Bay, not quite getting up to 31, but starting next week, really warm still, 24, overnight lows of 19. Really, it feels like daytime overnight at that time. So summer's here to stay. Fall is not even in the picture right now. Taking a look at today's Weather Watcher picture. This is from Tammy Hoffman, and what a beautiful photo. I believe that's a rose of Sharon, a bee just covered in pollen, just glutton, just eating all that he can. This really highlights that summer that we're talking about. Beautiful pictures. Thank you so much,
We
Tammy.
like bees. We need bees. Pollinators are important. Love that you captured that, Tammy. And I just want to say, any summer where we can start the month of September with upper 20, low 30-degree highs, because it's September the 1st on Tuesday.
It's coming up.
It's
yes.
coming up fast.
Yeah.
That's a great way to end summer, I would say. All right, thanks, Karis. And by the way, before we get to the end of the show, I want you to think about your favorite Dolly Parton song, because as the world continues to mourn the loss of the legendary Dolly Parton, a local researcher who spent years studying her lyrics says the icon's relentless optimism and compassion leave a powerful lesson on how to navigate tough times. CTV's Heather Centerin on this story for us today, joining us live. Heather, you know, it's pretty clear Dolly's impact stretches way beyond the stage.
From funding life-saving vaccines to gifting over 200 million books to children, Dolly Parton's generosity was just as iconic as her voice, proving that sometimes all it takes is a kind heart and a big smile to make a difference.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition.
In a world often divided, the loss of Dolly Parton has brought people everywhere together in shared grief and shared gratitude.
The public statements that I've seen over the last day, like, it's people from very different political and social sides, and yet they're all sort of picking the same amazing characteristics of her. So it's almost like everybody recognizes that Dolly was a good person.
Dolly built an empire not just on her vocal talent, but on an unwavering commitment to optimism and empathy.
She's literally the poster child for kindness.
A psychology prof at Wilfrid Laurier in Brantford spent years analyzing Dolly's work.
I think that a lot of the things that she does are very good examples of things I can tell my students, like, this is what gratitude looks like.
Eaton's research found that Dolly's public persona matched her lyrics, even tackling tough themes. Take her iconic hit, Jolene.
Dolly uses really poignant language. She's complimentary to Jolene. She's basically, I know you could take him, but please don't.
That same empathy showed up in Coat of Many Colors, a song inspired by childhood poverty and bullying.
And I'm making fun of me and my coat of many colors that Mama made.
She's trying to help them see things her way. She's not choosing violence. She's just choosing sort of compassion and trying to meet them where they are.
Music industry experts say it's that grounded human perspective that allows listeners from all walks of life to see themselves in her lyrics.
Everybody has been broke. Everybody has been lonely and heartbroken and full of jealousy and rage. But, you know, rainbows and sunshine in the end of it.
Dolly Parton not only leaves behind a legendary catalog, but also a timeless lesson in humanity.
If you ask yourself the question, what would Dolly do? It would be kind, be present, think of others, and help out when needed.
As we pour ourselves a cup of ambition and all try to live a little more like Dolly. As mentioned, Dolly was always giving back. Her Imagination Library is a nonprofit program that gives one free book to children until they're 5 years old across 5 countries. Locally, you can access this in areas like Wilmot, Wellesley, Brantford, and St. Jacobs. Tony.
That's wonderful. A legacy that's going to live on right here in the region. Heather, thank you. CTV's Heather Centerin joining us live. Well, coming up, flagging foreign food. Just ahead, a major grocer plans to go back to more prominent labeling to tell customers about out-of-country products. The push to buy Canadian has shamed grocery giant Loblaw into reinstating signs that clearly label out-of-country products. Other, smaller independent grocers are following suit. CTV's Alex Carpa now on the call for clarity.
The Buy Canadian sentiment is resurfacing as Canada's tariff war with the United States continues to escalate.
We had these little labels on the shelf.
At this local Winnipeg grocery store, owner Ramsey Zeed has put Made in Canada signs on his shelves and plans to add even more.
We're always looking at different products and making sure that those ones that are made right here in Canada are highlighted first.
He's not alone. Loblaw is bringing back its T symbols on tariff-affected items. A spokesperson told CTV News that the company will also continue using the the maple leaf symbol to highlight local products. Customers have told us they want to support Canadian farmers, producers, entrepreneurs, and businesses. We want to make doing that easier. Sobeys also told CTV News that it will continue highlighting local products, using provincial flags to help customers identify Canadian-made goods.
Businesses should take the advantage of the current sentiment to really advertise the kind of products that they have.
And the push to buy Canadian is translating into increased sales for some local businesses.
We were limited before, prior to the tariffs, to about 2-3 bottles within the Baltic Brothers brand. Now we're up to 5 or 6, so we actually have definitely more shelf placement, and that in turn results in about 15 to 20% increase in sales.
As for Zeed, it's been a challenging time for his business and says it's never been more important than to support Canadian goods.
There should be no reason why we can't support Canadian businesses.
Major grocery chains embraced the idea of buy Canadian during last year's trade tensions, and now with tariffs back in the forefront, that effort is once again gaining momentum. Alex Carper, CTV News, Winnipeg.
All right, time to recap our top stories. Colton Ween's in studio with us. Summer winding down, not so for construction season. Some of those roadwork projects, those major projects, just going and going.
That's right, Tony. There's projects all over the region of Waterloo, but they are still expected to be on schedule. It's just officials say despite the delays for drivers, most projects are moving along as planned, but some will wrap up this fall, but drivers need to know others are expected to push into next year. Meanwhile, a University of Waterloo project moved along real fast. A student-run rocket team has set a record for the highest an amateur liquid rocket has ever reached. The Waterloo team's rocket soared more than 63,000 feet into the sky at the Launch Canada Challenge in Timmins.
That's incredible, and remarkable video of it, too. Looking at what our Webs team is working on, a story out of Cambridge. We were talking about this in the newsroom. This is something people are either really locked into or maybe not following that closely. They want some clarity on data centers.
It's a little bit of a polarizing topic, and everyone kind of has an opinion on it. The city of Cambridge wants the province to speed up its proposed data center playbook. It's meant to give municipalities a better understanding of what they can expect when it comes to the controversial facilities. And for more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
The mayor of Cambridge said this is one of the #1 topics that elected officials are getting emails about, and it's not just here, it's all around North America.
Yes, very much so.
Thanks, Colton. Appreciate it. Well, the Laurier Golden Hawks are gearing up for another football season after falling just short in the Yates Cup last year. The first game of the year is just a few days away against the Guelph Griffins, but the team has been on the field practicing this week. That's where we find CTV's Jeff Pickle. Live at University Stadium, Jeff, a lot of intensity and focus around the field. Certainly, this is a critical time of year.
Well, Tony, training camp is over, so they are fully in game prepper motion now. They're preparing for the Guelph Griffins, a team they beat twice last year, but in very close games. And the team is making another big adjustment, playing for the first time under a new head coach. Now, after last season, previous head coach Michael Faulds, one of the most successful head coaches in team history, stepped down and is now leading everyone's favorite team to hate, the Western Mustangs. Step in offensive coordinator Todd Galloway. He has stepped up to the head coaching role after 6 years on the coaching staff. With training camp now behind them and their first game of the season just 3 days away, the team and Coach Galloway say they are ready for another big year.
You know, obviously at first when we heard about what was happening, everybody was a little weary about it. But once we've learned who our new head coach was, everybody was super ecstatic, you know, for Coach G-Way and everything that he brought. And once he started to show us more of him, you know, we some of our leadership guys, we let them know that everybody's behind him.
Yeah, I think the big thing is there's comfort there. And so the offense especially knows me, knows my style. You know, I'm still the offensive coordinator as well. And the defense has gotten to know me over the years too. So this wasn't a program that needed big change. Culturally, we were in a very good place. And so it's just kind of over time putting my little stamps on it here and there. But we're ready to go.
Now, first up, as mentioned, the Guelph Griffins, that game on Saturday right here at University Stadium, and all the attention here focused squarely on that game. But for fans who may be peeking ahead a little bit in the schedule, wondering when that matchup with their former head coach, Michael Faulds, and the Western Mustang, that game will have to wait all the way to the end of the season, the last Saturday on October 24th for that matchup. Tony?
Busy field behind you there, Jeff. I know we'll hear more from you on this tonight at 11:30. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jeff Pickle at University Stadium. Remembering an actor who gave life to some unforgettable characters. Just ahead, Tim Curry has died at the age of 80. Another Hollywood icon is being remembered. Actor Tim Curry has died at the age of 80. He brought a range of bold characters to life on stage and screen. CTV's Andrea Case has more on his life and legacy.
I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
You may be forgiven if you only know Tim Curry for one role, that of Frankenfurter in the cult film The Rocky Horror Picture Show. But Curry, born in Cheshire, England in 1946, had a long career in film, television, and stage. That may be how it began. First, Rocky Horror was a hit stage play and then a movie, which did not fare well at the box office, but still lives on today, the longest-running theatrical release in history. Before Rocky Horror, Curry starred in the original West End production of Hair, where he met Richard O'Brien, who wrote Rocky Horror. While it did not connect with audiences on Broadway, Curry did. He continued to star on Broadway, including creating the role of Amadeus in 1980, playing the title character Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, for which he received his first of 3 Tony Award nominations. On the big screen, memorable turns include...
But one of us wasn't here. No. No? No.
Based on the board game, in 1985 he starred in the film adaptation of the comedy mystery as Wadsworth the Butler. Not a great success in theaters, but then again later developed a cult following. Other notable appearances included his role as Mr. Hector, the concierge in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
You gotta help me. There's 2 guys after me.
What's the matter? Store wouldn't take your stolen credit card?
And back in makeup, he terrorized children and some adults.
Aren't you going to say hello?
That's Curry as the terrifying clown Pennywise from the 1990 adaptation of Stephen King's It. Curry received classical vocal training as a boy and recorded 3 solo studio albums. He also did voice work in animated series and video games. Back to Broadway, he starred in Monty Python's Spamalot. But it all changed on Friday, July 13th, 2012. He had a stroke.
I was having a massage at the time, and I didn't even actually notice anything, but the guy who was doing the massage said, "I'm worried about you. I think I want to call an ambulance." And he did. And I said, "That's so silly."
Last October, after more than 50 years in the entertainment business, Curry released his memoir, Vagabond, citing the 17th century criminal code when actors were lumped together with thieves and vagabonds. Tim Curry died at home in Los Angeles yesterday. He was 80 years old.
Our Andrea Case reporting. And more news in a moment. First, let's check in with Karis.
Well, rain is on the way, and the next couple of days could be a little dreary. If you're wondering what conditions will be like first thing tomorrow morning, stick around. Wake Up Weather is coming up. Stick around on CTV. Coming up tonight at 7, Jeopardy Masters, followed by Master Chef at 8. Then it's the Rainmaker by 9, and capping off with the Borderline at 10.
Bounce has moved up the dial to 105.3. Wake up with Angie and Sarge. The music you just can't quit. Now on KW's Bounce 105.3.
All right, Colton's back with a look at what our team's following for later tonight. Colton?
Well, Tony, Jeff Pickle will have more on the changes for the Golden Hawks football team and the expectations for the upcoming season as the talent on their roster continues to stand out. And the region of Waterloo meets tonight, expected to discuss how the province's new system could mean a mayor could hold dual positions as leader of a city and regional chair. We'll be following along as at least one regional councillor doesn't support it. Tony.
Some big potential changes at local government. Colton, thank you for that. And Karis is here with our Wake Up Weather for Thursday. We've gotten past the halfway point of the week.
We're on our way to Friday, I swear. Looking at our Wake Up Weather, I mentioned already, we know the storm is on its way, and we're seeing here 17, 18, 21. There is that chance of a thunderstorm, and it's going to be pretty dreary and rainy, as I've already mentioned. But the sun will come up by 10, which is always nice to see.
Silver lining there. I like it. Well, finally for us, fresh off a stop with a former Rangers team president yesterday, the Memorial Cup continued its road trip in Kitchener today, and it went from a familiar figure from the past to faces of the future. Kids Ability was the pit stop today for the Cup. Families getting the chance to take a photo with junior hockey's ultimate prize.
The Hockey Club and Kids Ability have had a partnership called Rangers Reach dating back to 2011. Following the championship triumph in May, the Rangers said they wanted to share the achievement with the families they support.
Well, that is lovely. I love that the celebration is getting stretched out through the summer.
I feel like I've seen the Memorial Cup multiple times in all different places.
Yes.
So it's so nice. Yeah.
It's a big party that lasts. I was talking earlier about the legendary Dolly Parton. Did you have any songs you wanted to mention?
I don't want to be so surface level. Obviously,
No,
9 to 5.
that's okay.
Jolene. You know, she wrote I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston's big hit. So it's just, her impact was so deep.
That's
and,
okay.
Oh, my goodness.
That's okay. I love all of those. I also love one called Two Doors Down, which not a lot of people bring up. It's kind of a B-side one. Great song.
Give us a couple bars? Or
No. But more impressive, during the break we were talking about this, is the depth of your knowledge about Tim Curry. You said you and your sister loved the movie Clue, which was out long before either of you were born.
Yes. I don't even remember why we came to it, but it's just, we love the board game and we love the movie. And then my husband introduced me to Rocky Horror Picture Show. Just so many classics.
Yep.
So what a week. And
it is.
Oh, what a loss.
Timeless artwork, all of this stuff. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.